I'm streaming. Yep. Okay, cool. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get the ancient kraken. I've been trying to get it. Like I didn't macro last night because I've been up for the entire night again. Hello, welcome to stream, Soul Rider. You don't need to call me sir, man. Ooh. That is a really good event. I didn't know that I was gonna get that event. Rarity. Yeah, I have the Rod of the Forgotten thing with Resilient. Or Destiny Rod. I mean, I'm using the Rod of the Forgotten thing. I did indeed catch the Ancient Kraken once. One time. And it got away. Because I had the Immortal luck, which it helps with catching it a lot faster, but at the cost of, you know, not having any like extra resilience or anything. And so I tried catching it. Bro, it's a 95% reduction to the fucking progress bar. So I was like fighting that thing for 20 minutes and I lost. Because you're only getting like 5% per like tick. So you have it leave your bar for like a split second and you're losing like a minute of progress instantly. Which is like, bruh. Like every time it went out of the area, I got so sad. Yeah, it's like getting a Megalodon, except way harder to get. Like, insanely difficult. So you either need, like, steady to make it to where it's, you know. Yeah, I was fighting for my life. So I'm thinking, right? You should probably either get steady to reduce the how much it nerfs your progress bar by 25%. So it will be like 70? Yeah, it would be 70 instead of 95. Because it reduces the amount it ruins your progress bar by 25%. So it's either I do that or I get resilient and I just fight it. You know? Which actually, wait. I'm trying to think because yeah, it was very difficult to fight, but like maybe having 25% more progress bar will help me. Or it could just insanely hurt me and I won't get it. Because then again, it's also incredibly fast, as most of the fishing rods don't have any, you know, yeah, resilient is like the best, I'm thinking. Cuz if you're willing to get if you're willing to get steady, you would want like a rod that has a bunch of resilience rather than having the Forgotten Fang rod, which is I'm pretty sure only like 15 resilience. So that just seems like a big struggle in my eyes. You have Destiny Rod? I mean, yeah, Destiny Rod Resilient is really good, but its control bar is like really small. So that's why I had a subspace or like a quantum no life rod. Ooh, sunken treasure. I mean, most of the fish aren't really that chill. Like when I'm fishing at the Kraken pool, because apparently my macro can fish up the Kraken regularly without me being here. I can just sit there and be like, "Yep, got the Kraken." For you, it is. Damn. Well, that's probably because the resilience. But if you don't have the resilience, they're kind of very fast, bro. But usually, what I get for money is like, um, you don't trust the macro? I trust the macro a lot. Because the macro has fished up like several Krakens for me. Like when I woke up and my first Kraken was from the macro. And it was a subspace Kraken. And then I woke up the next day and I had another subspace Kraken with another regular Kraken. And I was like, what the hell? Like, here, see, look. I gave one of the subspace Krakens away, but then I got two more Krakens and I was like, all right, well, I'll just make this shiny and sparkling. Because I need that for this over here, where I'm just completely shinyifying the bestiary. I still have yet to finish some of them, but, you know, there's an ad. Oh. Well, don't I be a YouTuber? I mean, I have a YouTube channel. It's just all I do is I post my full Twitch VOD on there. That's all I do. So I go to YouTube and then I'm like, hey, I'm going to end the stream. And then I end the stream and I post the entire VOD into YouTube. Which means I just drag the entire stream. So I'm recording the entire time while I'm streaming. And that's because I don't really know how to edit. And I don't have an editing software. So I don't want to see like CapCut or any like random logo just appear at the end. What's my YouTube channel? It's just my user. So it's Death Knight 1247. Like this. Like that. I'm pretty hang on, let me look. Actually. Where is it? Yeah, it's that. Near Sunstone Island. Hello, giveaways for all. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, that's kind of the, you know. Oh, I passed it. And I mean, I've been using so much money on trying to get the Ancient Kraken. Because I used to have 8 million up there. But now I have 1.8 million. Which I am saving for, like, you know, shinyifying and whatnot. So I don't want to go to, like, absolute broke. Like, where I have no money to do really anything. Thank you for subbing. I mean, it's not hard to get a couple million when you're fishing up a lot of fish during the night with the macro. Because that's why I use the macros. I fish up a bunch of fish during the night while I'm sleeping with the money macro or the money rod. Because I use one macro for a lot of rods. So I grab like the no life quantum if I want money, and I just fish in the Kraken pool and I get like 5 million or something. It's either 3.8 or 5 million depending on if I go for like 8 to 12 hours. Your macro is ass. That's probably because it's not tweaked to the rod that you're using. Because that can happen where you're like using it and it like doesn't help and it like just fucking sucks. Mine is the depths macro. So it's the depths rod macro, and I just pretty much use it over any type of fishing rod that has a lot more, you know, here. So basically how I use it is I see that if I go to the depths rod, it has a control of 0.15. Is it V11 or V12? I don't have V11 or V12. It's just a random macro that someone made for the depths rod. And it's like version 3.1. And so basically what I do is I look at this, since this has a 0.15 of control, the depth rod, I use it for basically anything that has more control or the similar control. So I can use it if I want exalted relics, like an easier, you know, like let's say I want exalted relics, an easier chance to get exalted relics, where it makes it from 1 out of 2,000 chance to 1 out of 800. I can just use the exalted rod with the depths macro, because they both have the same control, so there won't be like any issue in the difference. And if I use anything higher, it's just going to make it easier for the macro. So if I use the Forgotten Fang rod, then it will be a lot easier to catch fish. Yeah, I can just make a channel in the Twitch. Like here, I'll make a channel for the macro. I'll put it as like macro fish macro I use. Fish macro I use. Actually no. Just fish macro. I have to make it private so I can first deal with like, you know, I have to edit the channel so no one can chat and like flood this shit. Manage blah blah. Create invite yes. Send messages no. So it will just be the macro. It's so people don't just flood it when they join and then it like vanishes into like the abyss. Like I know there's not many people who chat in the thing, but gotta be safe here. Uh for uh with a control higher than 0.15. There we go. I posted it. So I made sure to abbreviate what can be used with it. It's any rod that has a control of above 0.15, which is let me check. So it'll be rod of the depths, rod of the exalted one, rod of the forgotten fang. You can also use the sunken rod, the tempest rod, Zeus rod, because Zeus rod has a it's in Discord. So I made an important channel and it's basically uh just the macro, and I can just here, let's see. So all the rods that can be used are oh, uh yeah, so it'll be in the Discord. All right, whatever. I'll just leave it at the 0.15. Can you use the depth seeker rod? Let me look, because it has to have a control of 0.15. I'm pretty sure I have the depth seeker rod. Oh, then you can use it, yeah. If it has a 0.17 in control, then you can use it. Because it's a macro made for the depth rod, and anything above the depth rod control can just be used with the macro. It'll just make it a lot easier for the macro. Because then it's running like the regular depths macro, but you have more control, pretty much. So that's why I use it for like every single rod above 0.15, yeah. Because it's mainly tweaked for that number. But if you use anything above it, then it's fine. Like it doesn't change anything. Just makes it a lot easier. But also, make sure to not use any bait when you're using the macro, because there's an issue with fish at the moment, and I don't think the devs have noticed. But when you use bait, what am I doing in the Mushgrove? I'm trying to grab resin. But there's an issue with bait at the moment where it will flash the the fishing mini game. You can see that. It'll flash it, which makes macros think that you're finished fishing, and it will start looping the macro again. So instead of still fishing, it'll loop the macro, so it will go into like casting, then click, the clicking thing. And then it will go to fishing again because it realizes, oh shit, it's not finished. And so that's probably why it's breaking macros, which is why before I go to sleep and macro, I make sure to go into my equipment bag and remove any type of, you know, any type of bait. Can I give you fish for depth rod? No, I don't give anything. Sorry, man. But yeah, that's what I do. And that's why the macro works a lot with me, because I usually make sure that it works before I go into bed. So I'll sit there for like 10 minutes making sure that it won't fuck up, and then I go to bed. And yeah, it'll have like a few hiccups, but it won't really like, lose a lot of fish. Can you change the set? Yeah, you can. If you can figure out how to code in AutoHotkey, you can definitely change the settings. Or if they made it easy to change the settings and you know what like the control bar is, right? Like if you know the math with that, then you can go into the hotkey, you just right click it and you edit in Notepad. And then you can see there's auto graphics delay. So let's see, there's set key delay, there's set mouse delay, batch lines, title match mode. Then there's, here, let's see, auto zoom. You don't need those. There we go. Mini game settings. So you can set the manual bar size so you can change it. Right now it's 333 for the Rod of the Depths. I just had a major voice crack, but it's for the Rod of the Depths. And it says set this value to 0 first, then your calculated size. Now, I don't know how the hell you would calculate the size. That's why I don't change it. But you're probably able to change it. You open the macro and it said we're Roblox, bro. Oh, yeah, that's because you didn't have Roblox open. You have to have Roblox open for it to open. Because it scans for Roblox and it will put up Roblox and put the macro on the side. And then in order to close the macro, you press M. For you to restart the macro, you press O, and to start the macro, you press P. But yeah, if you can figure out how to calculate the size of the control bar, the for the fish mini game, then you can definitely change the manual bar size. Cause I'm looking at this right now. I don't know how to calculate it. All I know is that 0.15 is 333. So if I wanted to make like a macro for manual bar size for the Rod of the Forgotten Fang, then I'd have to figure out how to calculate the control bar. So here, let's see. Control bar for Rod of the Forgotten Fang. Why don't I use the macro right now? Well, I could use the macro. Like here, I'd have to unequip the seaweed and go over to the macro. Now the macro is right here. I know you can't see it, but it's right there. And so I close that and I press P. And this is what it does. This is all it does, pretty much. And it will keep doing this for however long you want it to. And it will count the amount of time, like from the time you started it, like it will show you the runtime. So you can leave it on for however long you want. Although there's a really like obvious thing with fish where the longer you're fishing in one spot, the laggier fish will get because of how much like unoptimized stuff there is in the game. Like when I fish in the Kraken pool for 8 hours, it will like have some issues in that area where it's like rubber banding or not really rubber banding, but it's like a little laggy. And that's because if you fish too much fish in one area and your inventory is becoming full, because they haven't really optimized that stuff, it's, the macro's weakness is kind of lag, but it's because of how unoptimized they made the inventory and the other stuff with the game. Like, I'm pretty sure they just make the models invisible because I don't know what happens with it becoming insanely laggy in one spot. But if you look in the opposite direction, it's not laggy. So I'm thinking they make their models invisible and they don't disappear. So you just have a bunch of invisible models just sitting in a corner or in an area. And whenever you look over there, it loads all those invisible models that you can't see. And so it will make it a little bit laggy. And I mean, sure, it's not really a big deal because a lot of the fish are small. But if you're fishing up big fish in an area, that can get that can become a big issue. Like over time, that can become a big issue. And I mean the macro still works in lag. Like when I saw it working after 8 hours, the bar was jittering because in lag, the bar will start like freaking out. Imagine you're fishing the Meg and Brazilian is mine. Yeah. I mean, that happened to me once because I was catching it with a rapid catcher and I was panicking. I was like, what the fuck? Ah. And my friend was like, yes, lose the megalodon so I can catch it. And this was during when like the megalodon was kind of new. So he's just sitting there in the corner, just rubbing his hands, just like, yes, lose the megalodon. Yup. But I didn't macro back then. I only started macroing once the depths was added. And then I was macroing in the depths. Which is well after, like, when the Meg was added. So I went from being level 70 to being, like, level 824 because of the macro. And I mean, I wasn't really going to use the macro in this area because I'm fishing for the resin. And resin is usually uh, for like luck oriented. Like it's luck favoring. So I'd rather use like weird algae to try and catch it faster. The Mega is not using fish V4, but human V4. Yeah, it was like fucking jittering everywhere. I couldn't catch it. It was flash stepping, bro. It learned the new move flash step. It became Ichigo. And that's what the Kraken was doing too. Literally, ancient Kraken be at fucking negative 95% and still be flash stepping. Like, why the fuck does it have to flash step too, bro? It's already insanely difficult with having to be, you know, minus 95% to the fucking progress. Because I have to sit there for 10 minutes to catch this one damn fish. And then you want to make it hard as fuck by making it flash step. It become Ichigo, bro. It knows flash step. They learned it from Bleach, the anime. They were studying up on it. Yeah, human V4. Yup. How to dodge humans 101. Have I played Blox Fruits? No, and I don't really plan to play Blox Fruits. I mean, I've heard about it. I know Penguin Zero or Moist Critical played Blox Fruits because of how many people it had playing it. But for me, it's just not my kind of game. That's kind of why I play fish and like anime adventures on Roblox. But I do play a bunch of other games on Steam. And there's gonna be fun games coming out on Steam soon, like Monster Hunter Wilds and a few others, which is gonna be really great. I can't wait to like start streaming Monster Hunter Wilds. That'll actually be really fun. Yeah. I mean, it also just kind of depends on what bait you're using as well. Because if you have resilience, then the Meg and the Kraken are really, really easy. But if you have no resilience, then you might want to be using like coral bait. Which, I mean, it gives you 20% resilience. But it's not going to be like as much as what resilient or mystical would give you. And I think it's 20 and not 20%, which I don't know what 20 does. But yeah, you can see that the macro does work, you know. And it's kind of good. Like it hasn't had a fish leave its site. So, you know. That's kind of why I like the macro, cuz it's really good, especially with the uh the better rod, so like no life rod. You'll try it? Yeah, give it a try, man. Just make sure to remove your bait and like hide your chat before you start it. Cuz depending on what chat shows up, it could end up with the click shaking thing where it like, you know, clicks the click things. Going up to the chat bar and just being like, "Ooh, this thing's very, very bright. I must click it." Because it goes based on like what's brightest, which is why it zooms in into like this part. So then your hair or whatever you have on your head can darken the entire area around. So then it can figure out what button to click. And it also uses the menu as well to darken the screen even more. Yup. So if you want to, you can either fish in an area that will give you a lot of EXP with a clever depth rod, or you can fish with a money making rod. So you could either do like abyss depth rod, or you can do like abyss whatever the rod you're using, which is, hang on, let me look at it again. What's the rod? I don't remember. Depth Seeker. You can also use Depth Seeker as well, yeah. And you could put like Abyssal on that. It doesn't matter about how slow the rod is as well, because it won't take that long for it to reel in a fish as it clicks like the shaking thing. Yeah, but the Aurora rod has a macro for it, I know. But the it's not really like the best money making rod. Because in order to make it the best money making rod, you'd have to have it have Aurora and Quantum enchant. So then it has a 25% chance for it to be subspace, which is 5 times selling chance. And it has a 20% chance for it to be Aurora. Which I mean, that would make it the best rod for sure. It would make it the best like money making rod. But it also is capped by its small kg, because it can only catch up to 6,000 kg if I recall. It's 15%, not 20. I thought it was 20. Hang on, let me look. I haven't used it in a while. It was my main rod for a bit. It's right here. Yeah, 5,000. So it has 6,000 kg. It has some control, but not a lot. Yeah, 15% chance. So it would be 15% chance for Aurora and like 25% chance for subspace. But The fact is that it doesn't have that much resilience, which makes it impossible to catch a lot of fish, especially since its control bar is also very small. Like, yeah, it makes the most money because it's 6 times and then 5 times, but you're kind of capped at what you can catch. Unless you have like resilience enchant, which makes it, you know, to where you can't have subspace enchant, which is quantum. Because when they added exalted enchants, I thought it was gonna be where you can have like a regular enchant, and then an exalted enchant on top of it. So you could have like hasty and then like quantum. But when I started doing that, it just went nope. You can't do that. And I was like, well shit. Heaven's Rod. I mean, yeah, Heaven's Rod is pretty great, but it applies it afterwards. So I have Quantum Heaven's Rod, which I mean it takes a while for it to fish up anything. But sometimes it replaces my subspace enchanted fish with Heavenly, which doesn't really change its, how much money it puts out, which makes the subspace useless. And then the heavenly is just replacing the subspace. No, because how heavenly works is when you fish up the fish, it has a chance to apply heavenly to the fish instead of being able to fish it up and it be heavenly before you fish it up. Which, I mean, if it was before you fished it up, then that means that this would be the best rod. But since it's after you fish it up, that means if you fish up a subspace fish, it can literally just slap the heavenly enchant on it. And now it's no longer subspace, it's heavenly. Which makes the subspace enchant useless on it. Because, yeah, some of the fish won't get the heavenly enchant when they're subspace, which is like, yay, that's good. But it's also bad because some of them will be subspace, but then have heavenly just slapped on, and now they're heavenly and not subspace, which doesn't improve their money. What's the best rod? No life rod, because it's just really great. I made it clever, but quantum no life rod have like given me the most amount of money. Because quantum is 25% chance, which means it's like 1 out of 4 fish. And since No Life Rod already has an enchant where it's hexed every like 15%, which is a 1.5 times boost to money, that means most of my fish are either hexed or they're quantum. Or subspace, not quantum. Which means it's either they're 5 times or they're 1.5 times. Which is why each time I sold after macroing, I would have like 4 million or 5 million instead of like just 2 million. Like right now, I'm getting 2 million from it, but that's because I'm trying to get EXP rather than money. Because I want the next rod, which is at level 1000. Because I've been hearing that it's a lot better than No Life Rod by a long shot. That's what I've been hearing though. And then I also haven't finished the mermaid quest, so that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, which is why I'm at Mushgrove. But Clever will really like help boost me up to try and get the level 1000 for the other rod. Because I got all the new rods. Why don't I like blox fruits? The reason I do not like blox fruits is because of the amount of like things wrong with it. Like for one, it's a bandit beater, which means that you go to these NPCs and you slap them for levels, and then you go back to another island and you slap NPCs. And so I don't really like that, you know, where it's just you go to this island and then you go to this island and then you go to this island. Because that's why people call it a bandit beater. Not to mention the fact where as soon as they release a fruit, it's like the best fruit automatically. Or it's a lot better than like every fruit. You know, like it's just issues with that type of genre. Not to mention where I was hearing about how they basically did some wild things to where they removed a bunch of people's fruits and then just went, I don't know what you're talking about. Please give us more money so you can get these fruits that aren't really that great. You know? And it's like, well, what the hell? You know? It's just an issue with the how the game is, where it's a bandit beater, and the issue where it's, you know, just someone grinding for fruits. And then a new fruit releases, and then you're grinding for that fruit. And to get the fruit, it's RNG, which means you're just gambling for the fruit more than anything. You play blocked fruits daily. I mean, I don't have, you know, where I'm not really a person to where I would be like, yeah, don't play blocked fruits. You can play whatever game you want. I don't mind. I just don't play it. And that's because of my personal opinion, you know. I don't like it. But other people can. I don't have to force people to not play it. They can play it if they want to. Just have fun in your own way. And hey, maybe the PvP is good. I don't know. I don't play the game. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what you could do after you get all your stuff in the game, where you have max level or somewhat near max level, and you get a fruit you really like. Then you can play the game in PvP people. You know, it's kind of up to you. Thank you, man. Hello, Icy Fire. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I don't make it to where people, you know, I don't go and force my opinions on anyone. I just say, "Hey, this is what I think about it. I don't mind if you play it. I don't mind whatever you do with it. It's just my opinion. Have fun doing what you do, you know. You can have fun. PvP on the game. PvE on the game. RNG, whatever. Like, if someone plays Genshin, for example, yeah, to me, that game is a gotcha game. Like, it's just like a gambling game to me. But if my friend played it, I'd be like, that's cool, bro. It's fine. The VFX? I'm sure the VFX are great. It's just I'm more used to like the old games, to where they were much more simpler, rather than being all flashy and whatnot. Well, yeah, that's because I've been playing for like 10 years on Roblox. So yeah, the mainly the classics. Because I've been playing since 2014. So it's been like 10 years since I've played Roblox. Or well, more than 10 years, because I had my main account and then it got scammed because I created an account in 2011 and then it got scammed. And then I made a new account in 2014 because I had that account for like 2 years. And then I've had this account ever since. Yeah. I mean, one time I almost lost this account, but I regained it, which I'm thankful for, you know? Because I have a bunch of rare things on this account. Because it being 10 years means I'm able to get a bunch of like event related things with Roblox that they won't do ever again. Like the egg hunts, the 2014 winter event that they did where it was the sword fight tournament and a bunch of other stuff. And you know, so I got the like actual sword vault because there's a bunch of like people getting like the fake one, but there's the festive sword vault which I have the original of. Then there is like the massive amounts of like eggs that are still not limited. There's also the Valkyrie of the Metaverse, which was in 2020 or 2021. There is here, let me look. So that's Egg Hunt, the Fabergé egg. Yeah, I have a bunch. Oh, hey, look, there's also the crowns that they did for the one event where they gave the key Dominus. If anyone remembers that, because they did give out the key Dominus to one person, and then that guy got absolutely like slandered. I don't know what happened to him. Like as soon as he got that and it was like in his account, people were trying to like steal that shit. Which is like yikes. Like if I got it, then I don't know what I would do. Cause you'd have to absolutely like private your account and stuff. And make sure that you keep your account. That's why when I think about Roblox events, I think Roblox needs to monetize the person whose account they're giving this item to, like very closely, and see if anyone tries to beam them. Because that's the issue where someone will go to like Roblox support and their Roblox support will be their friend. Like someone working there would be their friend and they would beam the account, give them the account, and they'd steal the item. But that's kind of the issue. No, I don't need an account with 90 trillion. What? I'm so confused. I don't need that. I'm just explaining about how Roblox when they give items like the key dominus, they need to monitor the account they gave the item to very closely to where it doesn't get stolen. Because, items like the key dominus are one of a kind. They're one of a kind items that they're just giving to this one account, expecting them to be safe. Now, when I look at Roblox, I don't think there's anything safe about Roblox, bro. You get any type of rare item, you're gonna get absolutely harassed for it. Which, that's kind of crazy, you know? Like, just imagine you received the Moonlight Dominus that someone got for as like a cancer person. Because there was a guy who received a Dominus because they had cancer and that was their make-a-wish. And they got like so many death threats and they got so much shit happening to them. Yeah, but there's also the key dominance, which was from that one event where it was like a puzzle where you had to collect like the crowns and shit, the key crowns in these three separate games, and then you had to go to this game in the egg hunt. And you had to go to this one random door, say some weird passcode, and then complete a parkour. No, as soon as people found out he was a Make-A-Wish, there was still people sending him death threats. And that's not a joke. There are still people trying to get his like account and items. Because they don't care if the person's a cancer survivor. They literally just want the item. That's why they send death threats and they try to steal the account. Because they want it for themselves, which is kind of just stupid. Which is why there's accounts like there's been a few accounts that I've heard of where there's this guy who had like 15 million in rep in items, which means that he has 15 an inventory worth 15 million Robux, which is why it's 15 million rep. And he got beamed, which basically just means a guy went to Roblox support, had his friend accept his ticket on Roblox support, and then just accept that he owns the account and give him the account. So he sent in the report being like, hey, this 15 million rep account is mine. And then went to his friend on Discord, went, yeah, I sent in the report. Can you accept it? And then the friend takes it, goes, yes, this is okay. And then send him the account. And so all the items got stolen. And it's like, well, shit. That's kind of crazy. The guy lost 15 million in items of Robux, not actual dollars. That would be crazy if it was actually dollars. But he lost 15 million Robux in items in that same night, just instantly. And he lost his account. I don't know if he got his account back, but he lost his account. Well, it's more than 30K. Because I saw that someone turned in like 7 million Robux and it's like 30K. So back then, when like turning in Robux was a lot higher than right now, then it would have probably been at least like 200K or more. Depending on if you sell the Robux or if you sell the items. Because you can sell the items off of Roblox for money. which Roblox doesn't like, but people still do it anyway. And so that's why you see people say Valkyrie is worth like $200 because people will sell it off of Roblox for that price. Yeah, I hate beamers too. That's why you can't really have any like nice items. And I'm pretty sure that's also what happened to the person who had the key dominus. Because basically the event gave one person the key dominus and then everyone else got the key wings. Like here, let me look at this real quick. Cause I have the key wings. So I have the wings. Yeah, there they are. So I have the wings, but it's just the issue of like, you know, you're having a bunch of these like rare items, and the older your account is, the more likely someone's gonna want to steal that account. Yeah, the golden path wings of the Pathfinder. You got your IP. Well, that's not how they beam you. Cuz how they beam you is they get someone they have a friend in Roblox support. No, there's not really a way to stop beamers and IP pullers cuz the issue is that there's people who are friends with these people in Roblox support. And if the person in Roblox support doesn't really care if they get found out on their job, then they will help their friend steal any item that they want. And IP pullers can just pull IPs easily. Because if you connect to the server, it connects the server with your IP. And so if they figure out how to grab your IP from your connection, then they can just know your IP. And there's also issues where there's some other stuff. But I mean, it's not really common, but it's also not uncommon at all. It's in the middle. Cause it's one, people are trying to make money off of that. So people are trying to find ways on how to make money off Roblox other than developing a game and making items. And they're also trying to figure out ways to make it quickly. So if they figure out, hey, items give a lot of money, they will find out the quickest way to try and make that money. Which results in beaming and stealing accounts and shit. Or risky trading, which is like something you shouldn't do. Because risky trading is like, you know, the worst type of trading. Which is why you had items that would like go up in value. It would be like a 10 item that's worth like 10k. And then they depreciate very fast as soon as they're traded. Because people realize it's a shitty item. And so the value will go from like 10k to like 500. Which is kind of crazy. If you had a mindset to make a game. I mean, it depends because you also have to know how to code and stuff. Nowadays, to make a game, you have to have like a whole developing team for it. Ooh, Kraken. Okay. Well, headless. Yeah, because right now headless is like worth $200. That's the issue with Roblox items. Is the older they get, the more money they'll cost, and the more they're bought, especially like headless head, which I'm pretty sure headless head is like a code. It's gonna be a lot more money to, you know, get that item. How many North Star Serpents do I have? Not that many, but I don't really need any more because all the North Star Serpents I have are kind of rare. You know, compared to like the regular ones, like getting a Celestial or Nuclear North Star Serpent is like incredibly rare. What is this song I'm listening to? What the hell? But yeah, it's kind of just an issue with Roblox and the employees. It's kind of how there's an issue with Roblox and the oh, see ya. Okay. All right. See ya, Sigma JD. But yeah, I was gonna start talking about the issue with Roblox developing team and moderation team, which there's a bunch of issues with it other than the beaming and uh other stuff they're talking about. Like the issue with a lot of them not really banning a bunch of people that should be banned, that have like inappropriate names or are doing very, very bad shit on Roblox, or um or the pedophilia that's been going on with the moderation team, which is kind of crazy. Like all that shit is very bad for Roblox, which is why I haven't been playing Roblox as much, because of all the like shit going around along with it, or that is wrong with it at least. So that's why the only games I really play on Roblox is Fish and like maybe Anime Adventures now because my brother plays it. So that's kind of the issue with a lot of the stuff. Like that's why I won't really play Blox Fruits at all. Like I played it once, but I just won't play it at all. Because I don't really like Blox Fruits and I don't really like Roblox's like the direction it's going. Because Roblox went up from like it went from being okay to being really good in like 2017 through 2020, and then it started going at a downhill like nosedive after all the stuff started coming out about like the moderation team and the issues with Roblox is like the community with all like the weird people, and then also with the old people being pedos, and then a lot of Roblox mods being pedos, and then like, well, shit, that ain't good. Like, that's always never good. Especially when you're like trying to run a website that makes games. And then a lot of the games recently haven't been too great either, because like half of them are copies. Because they see a game doing very good, and then they copy it. Like example, fish. Someone went, "Hey, fish did really good. Let me make my own variant of fish," because they want to make money, which doesn't really work half the time. You have to make your own game and have your own like unique idea. Like, yeah, you can take inspiration off of some games, but that inspiration can only go like so far. You can't really base the entire game off the game and then be like, yeah, I'll just be like this. Like example, ice fishing. That's basically Souls RNG and you know, fish. Because it's like 1 out of 100 is a bull shark or whatever the fuck, and it's like, what the hell? Why'd they turn a fishing game into an RNG game? You know. Hello, Denting. Welcome to the stream. No, I'm not really giving any items or fish. Sorry, man. I'm not really giving any like items or fish. Sorry. Wait, what is that? A shiny? No, that's sparkling. But yeah, it's just an issue with Roblox as a whole. I mean, there is some issues where it's like some games on Steam are somewhat copies of other games, but they're somewhat unique to where they're sort of different. To where people will end up playing them and they're like better like optimized or have better like mechanics. But it's just an issue with Roblox being like, well, this game is doing really good. Let's copy the entire game and then put our little spin to it. Like Blade Ball went and Death Ball. Like they're the same game. It's just one has a name change and different abilities and a different lobby. They're still the same game. It's just subtle changes. Which happens with a lot of Roblox games. Something becomes successful and then other people will follow suit. What should you replace your steady rod with? Uh, it depends. How much money do you have on fish? And what are you planning on catching? Like, do you need more money or do you need to catch something that's requiring a better rod? Because steady rod is actually really good. You have 31,000? Just keep saving then. Because you can't really get anything that is like really good at the time. But if you need money, then when you get at like 110,000, you want the mythical rod. So you have a 20% chance of getting mythical. Or, yeah, mythic fish. Which give you like 4.5 times more money per fish. Like, yeah, it can't catch a megalodon or the kraken, but it will help you with getting a lot more money. Because it still can catch a lot of fish. Because it has like 6K or something with its kg. But right now, steady rod is like the best rod for new players. It's just if you want it to be faster, just get hasty enchant. Because steady rod can catch megalodon and the kraken. Uh, if you save up for Trident Rod has piercing, which can be helpful with catching fish, but it determining on like if it's better for money, no. Because uh the mutation it gives, which is Atlantean, only gives a 3 times boost rather than a 4.5 times boost. Which can differ in like it would be a difference in like thousands or more depending on how like long you fish. But like the passive with Trident is really good, which is why they made it a an enchant for exalted enchant stones or relics. Hello Dirty, welcome to the stream. So I mean, like, if you want to, you could also just make it have piercing enchant, but the exalted enchant relic is like 1 out of 20 or 2,000 without exalted rod. I mean, if you want to try and get exalted rod, which is basically just a free version of the depths rod, you would have to get 7 enchant relics and then get the crystallized rod. I forgot how much the crystallized rod is. Let me check real quick. But I know in order to unlock the crystallized rod, you need 2 people. Here, let me check real quick for you. I probably passed it. Hang on. There it is. So yeah, it's like 35,000 for the crystallized rod. So you could get the crystallized. Actually, no, because you need the trident rod as well. Never mind. Don't go for the crystallized rod. Because you also need an Atlantean enchant relic, which is from the Poseidon rod. So you would still have to get like a the trident rod, unless you get the Atlantean enchant relic from someone else, which I mean could help you. But why am I using resilient on my rod? Because this is going to be used to catch the ancient kraken. Which is why I have resilient on this rod. Because the ancient kraken is a 95 minus 95% to my progress bar. Which can be really difficult. Like I tried fishing it up once and I got absolutely destroyed by it because I had immortal, which gives me more luck instead of having resilience. So it was just bolting around the progress bar. There's the chests. Hello, Cannon Molt. Welcome to the stream. Hang on. Let me just remove that person real quick. The hell? They're somehow bypassing. But yeah, hello, Cannon Molt. Welcome to this, I guess. I'm doing good. I'm just doing things to try to get ready for the thing. Yeah, the mystical enchantment gives more much more resilience, but I don't have any more exalted relics unless I try to trade for it. Which I mean, I could trade for more exalted relics. Well, yeah, but I could also just trade for them. Mulch. That's kind of why they're like you. Yeah, you could probably do that. Plus, I have the exalted rod, so I could also just farm for exalted relics with that, which makes it a 1 in 800 instead of 1 in 2000. And yeah, no, I'm not trading the Nessie cardboard. The weirdest thing just happened to you? What happened, man? Kraken spawned in your friend's PS. You went to go catch it. Uh, what? Wait, your shadow caught it for what? I didn't even know the chat. Wait a second. Wait, that just gave me an idea. So if the shadow can catch the Kraken, what if it can catch the ancient Kraken? Wait a Wait a second. Well, hmm. Cause if it can catch the regular Kraken, what if I use the Poseidon's Wrath totem while the Kraken spawned and then just catch fish? Could I catch the ancient Kraken without having to deal with all the like bullshit? Cause if I could, that'll be hell yeah. Yeah, it's not like Kraken Rod where you can dupe it. But I do use whenever I grab the whale shark and the sharks, I usually use the Kraken Rod. Because the first time I went to catch them, I used the Kraken Rod and I got two great whites and two hammerheads and then a whale shark. So it duped both the sharks except for the whale shark. And I was able to exchange it for a lot. Yeah. I mean, you always wish that you had some type of luck when you're like somewhat like I literally was trying to catch the ancient kraken and I don't know if there's a bug with the kraken at the moment where if you like catch it and then you let it go that you can't catch it again because for me it seems like it. You should spam appraise it when there's a shiny surge or a sparkling thing. That's kind of what I do because you don't want to waste a lot of money appraising it. Like if you can save money with events, you'd rather save the money than waste more money. Because Night of the Luminous is like 10% sparkling chance, so you might want to just wait for that, even though it's really rare. Like it's a lot rarer than Shiny Surge, because it can only happen during the night. But if your friends are letting you know of events like Shiny Surge or like Night of Luminous, then it won't be that hard. If you get Mythic Rod, what's the best place to grind money? Um, for me, it would probably be the depths before Atlantis is a Kraken pool. For me, it's the Kraken pool at the moment. But then again, you can't really catch that much stuff with the Mythic Rod. And I don't know if you can catch all of the things down here. Yeah, hopefully I catch it. Fuck. Hopefully I catch it. Oh, this is the wrong, is the Atlantean Storm? I mean, I tried the Atlantean Storm. It gave me less money than the Kraken pool. So I've just been sticking with the Kraken pool. But they could probably change the amount of money that things give. So, it's just for me, the Atlantean Storm has too many bait crates. They filled it with way too many bait crates. Oh, this is lunar. Wait a second. I'll catch this so I have the lunar boost. There we go. Yeah, because a Kraken spawns. And you can catch the Kraken with the macro as well. I've caught several Krakens with the macro. You don't macro? I mean, there's a lot of people who don't macro, so don't worry. Ruins the game. I mean, to me, it doesn't really ruin the game. Like, yeah, it ruins some of the grind, but if you're kind of busy, you can't really grind the game as much as a lot of the people on the game. So if you want to like stay up to date with a lot of the people, you kind of have to macro. Like especially if you have like a job. Cuz then you're at work for like 10 hours a day for 4 days a week and you're just you're stuck there, and so that gives a lot of other people like 10 hours to grind while you're, you know, doing your job. So you'd rather have it be like, well, since I'm not there, I can have it grind for me for 10 hours while I'm doing this so that I can stay near the people who play the game a lot. No, that's bad. I don't know if I will be able to get the Kraken, the ancient one. Because I just fished up the regular one, and I don't know if there's a bug with that. Because last time I caught a regular Kraken before I got the ancient one, it just won't give me the Kraken again. All I know is I'm probably not going to get the ancient Kraken. Which kind of makes me sad, man. That's a waste of like 1.5 million. God damn it. Man. And it also kind of shows you how unoptimized the game is. Like, youch. I catch a regular Kraken and now I can't catch the secret Kraken. Shit. Yeah, 1.5 million waste is crazy. But I just don't think I can catch it after I reeled it in once. It's kind of like the bug where people had where when they tried reeling in the Megalodon, they'd get stuck. I'm pretty sure they haven't done anything to the Kraken to where if someone tries to catch it and they let it go, that it just allows other people to catch it as well. To 250. Yeah. They need to like nerf the price, bruh. Because all it does is it changes it from being regular to ancient, or being able to be caught as ancient. And it's even then it's still a chance, you know. So you're not even guaranteed to catch it as an ancient. Well, there it goes. And then again, you don't even know if there's a bug with the Kraken. Like, the reason why I'm assuming that it was a waste is because the issue with the Kraken at the moment that I've been having, where if I let it go once, I will never get the Kraken again. Not one single time will I get the Kraken again. What rod should you get now that you got Rod of the Depths? Well, you could try and get Rod of the Exalted one. And then just farm with that. So you can get like Exalted relics and stuff. Because when you have Rod of the Depths, you should at least have the crystallized rod and all those rods from Northern Summit. When did I start playing Fish? Right after the Halloween update. You only got the greedy one? That's the... Isn't the greedy one the one that's like, you have to be level 650? Or are you talking about the one that gives you Midas and not greedy? Because Midas and greedy are different. Oh, the greedy relic? It's well, that's like one of the hardest relics to really get, other than the crystallized relic. Like the only other relics you really need to focus on getting is the Atlantean relic and the crystallized relic, because those are the only ones you can't really appraise for. The other ones like fossilized, what's the other one? Translucent, and I need to look up what relics you need. Hang on. You need translucent, fossilized, and mosaic, and then hexed. You can all get those from appraising. So you don't need to worry about those ones. The only ones you really need to worry about are the Atlantean one, which you can't get from appraising, and the crystallized one. The one I would focus on the most is crystallized, because the rod is iffy to where it applies after. It's like Heavenly Rod, where it'll apply after the uh whatever you call it. It'll apply after you fish it up, like Heavenly Rod. And it's like a 12% chance. I mean, yeah, but you would want like something good on your Rod of the Depths if you want money. Like Subspace. Enchant. Which Exalted Rod is really good for getting Exalted Relics for. Here, I could actually trade for... You have Immortal because you had one Exalted. I mean, hey, Immortal is pretty great. At least you didn't get Invincible, where it's just you're able to fish in lava and brine pool. That'd be like the worst one. That's actually like the worst one. You got that one on try. I mean, it's an exalted enchant, but it doesn't really help you with anything. Like, yeah, if you want to get like a type of thing with the brine pool or the exotic fish in the lava, then sure, you can do that, but I wouldn't really call it good. I don't know why they would make that an exalted enchant instead of just a regular one, you know? Like, just move that down to regular enchant and move something up and buff it. So then it's an exalted enchant. Like, maybe make like a better hasty, or you know, something like that. So then the better hasty could help rods that are incredibly slow a lot more. But then again, rods are getting very fast nowadays. So probably don't do that. They could have instead of making Herculean, they could have just made a better weight thing. But I mean, it's just, you know, an issue with the enchants as a whole. Like some of the enchants are just enchants you never want to have. Yeah, maybe that could work. Like one where it gives you like a random mutation that gives you like a random percent times thing, or what, a multiplier. Like you could get the mutation and it could be like a 5 times multiplier or 6 times multiplier, or it could be like a 2 times multiplier. You know, something like that. Instead of being like, yeah, guys, you can now fish in everything. That's it. No luck added. Just fish in everything. And then again, if they wanted to do that, where you can just fish in everything, they could have just made it to where you can have a regular enchant on the fishing rod and then have an exalted enchant on top of the fishing rod. So you could have had like hasty and then had like invincible, which would be your rod is faster and you're able to fish in all liquids. And there goes the Kraken. As expected, though. I did say that I wasn't able to catch the Kraken after this. And, yeah. Yeah, but what would have been better is if they did it like how I said it, where it would be like you have a regular enchant on the fishing rod and then you have the exalted enchant. Because what I thought was the exalted enchant would be is a second enchant for your rod. So it would be like you have the regular enchant where it shows above the rod, and then there would be like a border glow thing. This for the color of the enchant you got for exalted. So if you got invincible, it would be like orange bordered. Like when you when you have it in your inventory, it would be bordered with like orange, but it doesn't do that, which is sad because invincible would be a good enchant, like a secondary enchant, if you wanted to fish for spectral serpent faster or like other fish faster, because then you could have an invincible divine rod or an invincible resilient rod, you know. But it would also ruin like a bunch of things. Like it would make it to where if someone got mystical and then resilient, it would make that rod basically able to catch anything with no issue at all. What places can you grind that on which has fishes I can catch with steady rod? Um, you can catch literally any fish with steady rod. So you can grind like the depths, or you could grind Atlantis if you want to. Frozen on the Kraken. Damn, bro. But yeah, I don't know if someone has reported the bug on the Kraken though. Because as you saw, question, why are people struggling to catch the banana? Because the banana is like 4 times rarer than the spectral serpent, and it's in a small fucking pond, just on the side. So people are just sitting there trying to catch the banana for like hours. Well, I mean, if I go to the fish wiki, right? If I go there right now, let me go there. Hang on. Give me I have to open it every time I want to go look for a fish. It should be Ancient Isle banana. Yeah, so the resulting chance to catch a banana with the alternate conditions, which is Heaven's Rod, weird algae at night with any weather in summer and autumn. And the resulting chance is 0.047%, which that is really rare. If I go to the if I go to the where is it? Where brine pool. And I go to spectral serpent. If I look at the alternate conditions for the spectral serpent, it's 0.21%, which means that the banana is like 4 times rarer than the spectral serpent, or slightly more than 4 times rarer, which that's very rare compared to the long pike and mustard, which good on him. He caught 2 rare things. I mean, I caught one and I got shiny sparkling of it. But I haven't really done much with it. So I might trade it for like exalted relics or something. I don't know. Because that's what I usually do if I'm not really going to want to keep a fish. Like if I already got the stuff I need to get for it, I will just trade it away for something that will help me in the like long run. Like I need exalted relics so I can get mystical for Rod of the Forgotten Fang and get my subspace enchant back on my no life rod so that I can start making more money. Here, let me look at this really quickly. SS. No. Celestial. What do you think about the magnet rod? The magnet rod is really good. It's just they need to add more crates and more bait because there's not enough crates at the moment. I'm trying to set up a trading thing real quick, so give me a moment because I'm trying to get exalted relics. There we go. Do I have any normal enchant relics? I have a bunch of normal enchant relics, but I'm not really giving any enchant relics as I need them to enchant my rods. Because usually when a new enchant comes out, I'm like, all right, what is it and is it good? Will I want it for a rod? Or if I need hasty on a rod, because I've been using so many enchant relics to try and get hasty on like several different rods. And I'm also keeping all of my like mutated rods. What the hell? Sleet? That's new. What? Is it that's a new enchant. What? Or mutation. I did not know sleet was a mutation. The hell? Should you sell your relics? No, don't sell your relics. Because you probably will need them in a later date for other things. Because people literally said hexed relics are useless. And then they came out with, well, now you need them for the depth rod. And then now you need them for the exalted rod. And then people were like, transparent relics are useless. Well, now they're not, because exalted rod. Oh, sleet is only catchable in an avalanche. Well, then that's a really lucky enchant relic. I will keep that. You're tired? All right. Well, if you want to come back to my stream like tomorrow, then you can join the Discord mulch. I usually post whenever I'm streaming there. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get my stuff. Giant ghoulfish unappraised for a Nessie. I have never seen a giant ghoulfish. Let me look at this real quick. Hang on. I mean, the Nessie is really good. I like the Nessie. But is the Nessie unappraised? Because the Nessie could be duped. That's why you don't trade for Nessies that are appraised at the moment. Because appraised Nessies could be duped. Like a lot of people have been complaining about how many Nessies were duped and stuff. And I'm not really complaining cuz to be fair, mine was given to me by a friend right after Fish Fright ended. So this was like right when I started playing and I've kept one ever since. So I'm happy with my Nessie. I'm not going to be trading it anytime soon. Even though it's really, really rare and people really want a Nessie, it's just, I'm not going to trade mine. Because it will only get more rare the longer I hold. I mean, my friend pretty much quit the game at the time, or at the moment. And it's not like he really needed it. He had a bunch more. He played a lot during the fish fright event. So he has like at least like 40 Nessies or somewhat around that range. Cuz he gave me a lot of Nessies to sell. So I sold a lot of Nessies, which is like youch. But he helped me through getting my first rod, which was the mythic rod. Yeah. I mean I yeah, there is pay to win. And then there is a lot of exploiters. But that's because they don't fully ban them. Like they don't ban them forever. They ban them for like 7 days and then they remove their like data. That's all they do. So they don't actually like fully ban them. That's what I noticed when I looked at the rules. Yeah. And that's because they know that 20 a lot of people will not want to just sit there and grind. They want to be able to just have the items right then and there rather than actually like grinding for it. Which I mean that's why you see a bunch of people that already have the ancient kraken, or there's some people with the ancient kraken. There's not like a lot of people with it, but there is some, like you see them appear. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them, or at least most of the ancient krakens that have been caught so far, are probably the exploiters. Yeah. I mean, then again, public servers are also just naturally laggy after 8 hours because of the fact that uh, a lot of people are catching fish and the amount of assets that are being flooded into the servers are clogging it up pretty much. You use the UI navigation trick to secretly fast. I mean, I don't really use the UI navigation trick because I don't really need to. I let the macro do this stuff when I'm not doing anything. Actually, I should actually do that real quick because I'm not really doing much at the moment right now. Yeah, macro is a life save, but there's people who don't really like using macros, which is fine. I like using the macro because then I'm doing something while not doing something. If you get what I mean. Yeah, I should actually use a different fishing rod. Hang on. Sure, I'll equip that. Yeah. Well, it's also a lifesaver for people who have jobs, as I said. Because if you have a job, you don't really want to be going to work and then knowing that you're not going to be able to catch up to the game. Because this game is like a completionist game, you know? You want to be able to complete the entire game. So you want to get to max level and you want to shinyify the entire bestiary, get sparkling on all the fish, all that stuff. It's not necessarily like the type of game where you can just play it and then somewhat get some things and then be like, yay, I got this fish. Like, yeah, you got that fish, but you're not really going to complete the game because of how much content they keep releasing each month. Like, it went from releasing Grand Reef, so then you had to complete Grand Reef after the Northern Summit was added. And I haven't even completed Northern Summit yet. I still have to shiny and sparkling Northern Summit. Because I haven't done that yet. So I don't claim that as finished yet. But then they added Grand Reef, so I finished Grand Reef, and then they added Atlantean Storm, and then they added Atlantis, which Atlantis has a shit ton of fish. And then they also added Secret Fish, so I have to get Secret Fish. I mean, the updates aren't taking as long as what Souls RNG is doing. Like, if you compare the updates of this game to Souls RNG updates, bro, Souls RNG hasn't updated since December. And they haven't really done anything. And Souls RNG isn't even a hard game to really do like updates on. They could have literally done an event so fast. It doesn't seem like a hard thing to do with that game. Because there's a bunch of people who are making auras for them, and if they need auras, they can just commission them off of other people, and then, like, start making the update by coding and whatnot. And have the update done, and then drag in the auras that people made for the game. And make sure that they, like, work and, are able to stabilize and whatnot. And I mean, Souls RNG isn't that buggy compared to fish. So yeah, like if we're comparing like bug wise, fish is really bad. Cause there's just a bunch of like, yeah, they are commissioning auras, but the issue is that even though they're commissioning auras, they're taking way too long on the update. on something that doesn't really seem like it should take that long on. Because it's not like they're revamping the game every time, you know? They're only adding a few more gears and some other things. Yeah, I know they're almost done, but they said they were also going to do an anniversary update, which they can't do now because they said they would start doing that 4 days ago now. And they haven't said anything about it. I'm pretty sure anyway. I don't know if they have said anything about it. But then also the fact that it's not even December anymore and they still have yet to add the December update. Like it's just now coming out. And in like 15, 16 days is Valentine's Day, which where's the Valentine's update at that point? Are they just gonna reuse the old Valentine's auras or some shit? Which would also just be like a massive fuck you to the people who played during 2024 Valentine's when they updated a lot faster. If they bring the old auras back, it's just gonna be a massive like, hey, we don't care about our community type of thing, you know? And it will piss a lot of people off. Especially like the old players. Cause they got that aura and they were like, yeah, it's exclusive to 2024. And then they bring it back and it's like, what the fuck, Souls RNG? Why'd you bring it back? It says 2024 Valentine's, not 2025 Valentine's. But the reason why I'm saying Souls RNG isn't doing that great is because they're the people are more focused on playing the games rather than developing. I know that they weren't really wanting to start like develop on this game. It was more like a test project more than anything. But like then it became their full-time thing where they were like, well shit, now we're making money off this. And a lot of money at that. So now we gotta start working on this. And they did that for a while. They when they were like releasing Archangel and Abyssal Hunter and all those auras, they were updating very frequently. Like it was like 2-week updates or 3-week updates. Like yeah, it's still kind of long, but it's not as long as like what they're doing now, where it's like more than a month. Like for the Halloween update, for example, they started working on that during like October, and then it went to November, and then December, and then they released it in December, which that's several months after October. And then they started doing the Christmas update. Yeah, they made a lot of money with the RA packs too. And it's like, well, why aren't they focusing more on this game that can make them a stable source of income for a while? Like if they keep working on this game and keep pumping out more content, they will be stable for a long time. But they're not focused on it. They're more worried about their games than anything. Which is why you which is why whenever you see like XYZ on, you always assume that he's gonna be on Deep Woken. Like that's what I do. If I see XYZ on, I'm like, yep, he's probably getting on Deep Woken. Which is why a lot of the stuff is probably not getting done as quickly because he has to approve of it. So he has to look at the product and be like, yes, this is good. But you see him on Deep Woken 20 hours a day and only developing for like an hour. Which that's not that great. Especially for the people who like spent a bunch of time and money into the game. Like especially on the RIA packs, they don't want to be scammed. They want, you know, they want to have their content and be able to play the game for even longer. But it's kind of like they don't want that anymore. And it's not like Roblox games make you a bunch of money now. Because, yeah, I know it makes you a bunch of money at the start, but if you're not keeping it open, it's not gonna, like, stabilize yourself for a long time. Like, when you're not developing the game, you're basically, as soon as the game dies, you're probably only going to be able to live off of it for, like, another year or two. And then you won't have, like, any money. Because of, bills and shit. And depending on how much you're like spending. A tower defense game? I mean, tower defense games are pretty good. Depending on what you make it about. And the quality of it. Oh my gosh, I'm sleepy. But that's really the only implications with tower defense games. Is that it depends on what it's based off of. I mean, yeah, but there's sometimes where people just want to move on to new projects. Like, yeah, there's some people who are like, yeah, they should stay with this one game. But it's kind of like how I'm saying, like, if they wanted to keep if I'm talking about like the devs for like Deep. I was like, if they really wanted to keep developing a PvP game, then they could have kept developing Rogue Lineage and probably fixed a bunch of issues with it and maybe make it better depending on what they do. I don't know what they could do with it. But like they literally they were like, yeah, we're making a PvE game and then just started making a bunch of PvP content for it. It's becoming more of a PvP game than a PvE game. Voldex, I don't know who Voldex is, but They sound like a bad person. You gotta go. Alright, well, if you want to be able to get here tomorrow, then you can go to the Discord and join in. I post about the stream every day. Hopefully you return, though. A bad rep. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really keen on, like, listening into Roblox drama. I know there's a bunch of, like, terrible people on Roblox, but I only really notice that stuff whenever it gets into my, like, YouTube recommended. You know, where it starts recommending me that shit. Like, the only reason why I knew about, like, the Moonlight Dominus or whatever, the Blue Moon Dominus, is because of YouTube recommending me the video about the guy getting absolutely slandered for having a Dominus because of his Make-A-Wish. Used to own games before buying Dungeon Quest. All those games were pay to win. Oh. Well, yeah, that's an issue with some game creators. Like, it's kind of how regular games used to be $60 and now they're like $70 regularly, which was changed a while ago. I don't know why. But I haven't really bothered with, like, you know, being like, okay, whatever. I usually tend to just avoid those games in general, though. Unless they're like really, really good and have like a separate alternative thing that isn't really pay to win that you could do. So if there's like a free to play route in the game, yeah, but that's pay to win. Not really, like, you know, you can still play the game for free and still have fun with the game. It's just that if you want to become the best person, then you'd have to pay to win. Unless you grind for like a long time. And then again, they could also make it to where for pay to win, they have like a lower chance of getting good items. Like a very low chance. So then if they want to get those items a lot easier, they have to play the game. Because what's the fun in playing a game if you're sitting with all your loot just in spawn? Also, 2 extra ability slots behind $8 a month is crazy. I mean, hey, it's just kind of stupid for that, though. Like, that's basically locking 2 sets of, like, abilities you can have to be better at the game behind money. Which, then again, would make it to where people who pay that money will just automatically be a lot stronger than most people. Especially if they have abilities to fill those slots. I mean, then again, auto sell is always usually behind a paywall. Like, example, fish. Fish has a sell anywhere button where you can sell from anywhere, but it's behind paywall. Like, yeah, that's a quality of life thing, but it's still gonna be behind a paywall because they need to make money somehow. And then it also makes a feature of the game basically useless. So if they made sell anywhere free in fish, then it would make merchants in the game useless, right? Because now everyone doesn't need merchants, so they would have to just remove merchants entirely, which might break something. I don't know what it would break, but it might break something. Hello, Soul Rider. But it's stuff where they're like, yeah, this is quality of life. It makes your life easier, but it will be behind this paywall, so you have to support us in order to get this. Now, if it's $8 a month to where they're making it a fucking pay plan, then hell no. That's not locking it behind quality of life. That's or locking quality of life features behind a paywall. That's locking it behind a fucking monthly payment plan rather than a paywall. You have to pay a fucking payment plan for that shit. Because then you stop paying it and now you don't have it. So it's not really a paywall, it's a payment plan. And then again, yeah, you're supporting the person, but that just makes it where you're supporting this guy that does this to literally every other game he owns. And I mean, I guess it does kind of work. Because he's probably making a lot of money from it. But, like, would it be ethical? Hell no. Like, people hate him for it. So, of course, it's not ethical. But it doesn't mean that other games shouldn't be able to do that. Like, example, Fish, you know. Fish has to pay its developers and do all that other shit, so they have to have something behind a paywall. Whether it's quality of life features that could make the game a lot easier, like spawning a boat anywhere or being able to appraise anywhere and sell everywhere, or having more EXP so you can support the game even though it has a bunch of players. But if it didn't have a bunch of players, it would be like a way to support the game and pay the devs. They changed everything about the game and making it more cartoonish. Yeah, I mean, some people would like the cartoonish vibe, but for me, I don't really like the cartoonish vibe with some games. Like some games will be like with this like cartoony like design, and it's like I don't really like that. Example, Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite not just because of the cartoony style, but because of uh the brain rot and other things that it has. I mean, yeah, that's also what Fortnite is. It's just a bunch of like random characters slapped into a game that's battle royale, and I already do not like the battle royale genre to begin with. So I don't like Fortnite because of the fact that it's battle royale. But on top of that, it's very cartoonish. Like all the art styles are very like catered towards children and shit. And I don't really like that. So I ended up playing it once and then never playing it again. Because I don't like it. And I mean, it just depends on what like design choices the person wants to make and shit. Like some people will like that stuff, but other than that, like if you don't like it, you don't really need to play it. Even if you've been playing it for a while, it it's just another game at that point, you know. There's a bunch of other games you could be playing that are a lot better and you might like. They only redesigned the first two dungeons. I don't know. They might. Ouch, my throat is dry. They might. Fuck. Hang on. They might. There we go. They might design more dungeons. Like they might keep designing, but if they give up halfway through, then what the fuck was the point? Because, you know, you shouldn't change the design of the game and then stop updating because you're not getting anything from the game. Like, that's the issue with some people as well, is they'll buy a game seeing it as a way to make money and not really a way to, like, explore their creativity. Because if you're gonna buy a game thinking you could probably make it a lot better, then go for it. You can buy that game, probably make it a lot better, and probably make it to where a lot more people are playing the game. And you'll make a lot more money off the game because of the creative choices you did. Or you'll probably make a lot less money from the game, but you at least made it in your designed, like, preferred way. But if you're gonna just pay for it thinking that you could make a profit off it, then don't do that. Because that's not how you make profit off games. That's why whenever you see a company buy a game, it's always kind of terrible. Like I'm pretty sure after I remember what happened to Bloxburg where they added like some fucking uh bar thing or whatever, the food bar. I think it was after the company bought Bloxburg and it kind of ruined the game and then they also made it to where the uh what are the jobs gave like barely any money. So it's like the reason why you would want to buy the game should be for if you want to change it for the better or in your own direction rather than for profit. El macro. The reason why I'm running the macro is because I'm farming for Exalted Brothers. And I was about to go to the bathroom anyway for a bit. So just give me a moment. I gotta go to the bathroom. Roblox. Well, yeah, Roblox has kind of turned into slop. Also, I'm back. But yeah, Roblox has turned into like some terrible game, like or platform as a whole. Because after 2022, when they started moving into the app, now their website is breaking, which is not good. Because I'm like a website user, so I only use Roblox on the website. I don't use the app at all. And so some of the fucking features on the website are breaking. And it's like, well, shit. I can't view my items now. I can't view groups. I can't view about me sometimes. And it's like, well, shit. And then there's also the issue with games on Roblox either being copies or like very bad games or having very bad developers. There's the issue with the mods of Roblox and all that other shit. And it's just kind of down, it just went downhill after 2020. It's just not great. And I mean, it's also have it hasn't been great after 2020 with a lot of like the games and shit. Because after 2020 went by, because 2020 was like the biggest spike in people playing games and shit. After that, a lot of people stopped playing games. And a lot of people have been absorbed into TikTok, which is why you see a lot less people watching YouTube and watching Twitch and playing games because they're all like, they have jobs now and they're also just watching a lot of TikTok. Like their brain has rotted so much because of TikTok and all that shit that it's just become kind of a normal thing at this point. I mean, I miss 2019 too, but it's whatever. It was a long time ago. And it's not like I can really just turn time back 6 years and go back when I was, what, I think, yeah, when I was like 15 at the time, 6 years ago. I can't do that. I mean, I had fun those days, but like, it's like also I had school those days and it's like, well, I don't really want to go back to school. I mean, I'm already having to think about what college I might go to, and that's still school. Yeah, you already know it's bad when you see wait in line to get a low taper fade has more players than like half the games on Roblox. Like when you see that that game actually has more players than half the games on Roblox, that's when you know it's bad. And I'm pretty sure I saw that game, I clicked on that game, and I saw it had like 4,000 people on that shit. So, yikes, bro. What the fuck? 4,000 people on that game? Like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, Blade Ball was fun at the time because it was unique. It was a unique game that no one made. But after a while, it gained like a bunch of fucking abilities and shit that it didn't really need because it was mostly about skill more than anything, and then it became more about abilities, and they made it to where a lot of the abilities were behind a paywall, which made the game terrible. I mean, it depends. Which one came first? So if Deflect came first, then Blade Ball did copy Deflect. But if Deflect came out after Blade Ball came out, then Deflect was copying Blade Ball. And then again, like I don't really mind. Did Blade Ball come out in 2023? I think it would. Yeah, probably. 2 years ago sounds about right. Oh, okay. Well, I guess Blade Ball did copy it, but it's just, it's the fact that whatever the fuck it is, it's just terrible. It's all terrible. And I mean, there's still gonna be people playing it anyway. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh yeah, if you have an opinion about this stuff, then everyone's gonna be not playing it. No, that's not what's gonna happen. If you have an opinion on it, you can share your opinion about it, but it's not gonna really change much about people playing the game. Like, people are still going to be playing Roblox and doing all that shit, and a lot of people can't really come up with more original ideas for games because all of that's running out. It's more or less like it's inspired by this game. Thank you, Voidcaster. I don't really think I have an accent though. What type of accent do you think I have? It might be because of my lisp. Do I play with viewers? No, I don't. I usually have all the stuff in my rules, like in my Twitch rules. But no, I sadly do not play with viewers. I'm mostly a solo player. But yeah, Mulch, there is a lot of games now that are more like inspired by other games rather than like their own game. Like the only game I've noticed that has elements that aren't really inspired is like Stray. Because Stray is like a cat game, like a story cat game, but it doesn't really seem like inspired by mostly anything. It might be inspired by a game, but it's mostly like its own original creation, right? Rather than like a game that like they take a aspect of a game and they just go bam, it's the game now. Like I've been hearing about Marvel Rivals and I've been asked to play Marvel Rivals, but to me Marvel Rivals is just third person Overwatch at the moment. Like that's all it is. A third person Overwatch. Like yay. A Universal Time used to be good, but now for me now it's not good. The updates made it worse. So then I stopped playing it. That's kind of what happened with me and that game. I've left a lot of games because of how they made like choices, or they stopped like developing the game, and then I just completed the game or just didn't play the game anymore after that. Hello Complex, welcome to the stream. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Like that's what I was saying. Like it's just third person Overwatch with Marvel included. Like yeah, you can like it, but for me I don't really like it. And that's just my opinion, you know. And like that's how they kind of made it big as well, because they made a good Overwatch, like you know, Overwatch like game. Like it's like Overwatch, but it's not Overwatch in a sense. And a lot of people loved it, and that's how they made, you know, a bunch of money. And I mean, to me, they can do whatever they want as long as it works. They're basically doing the same thing as like what Fortnite is doing with their skins as well, where they're making it to where it's like not gonna take like your entire wallet, like what Valorant does, where Valorant at the moment has been making their fucking bundles like expensive as hell. Like this most recent bundle that they made, which is the snake bundle. It's like $69.40. So it's near the Reaver or Prime like bundle prices that they had before at two skins and one knife and a flex, which is a new thing that they added to the game. But that's two guns and a knife instead of four guns and a knife for the same price, nearly. Like, that's just kind of crazy, bro. And that's what I pointed out, and that's what a lot of like Valorant creators have been pointing out. Is like, hey, this is fucking crazy. They are trying to yoink all of our money from this shit. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, what the fuck? This shit kind of Like, what the hell are you doing, Valorant? Skins shouldn't be this expensive. And it's because they're trying to test to see how much they can make it before getting, like, stopped. Because it's basically just inflation. Except it's like Valorant inflation. Which I don't know why it would need inflation. Like, yeah, I know there's a bunch of shit happening with the world of Valorant, like the real world. But like you don't need to inflate your skin prices. You just need to make better skins. Like better quality skins at least. Oh, I already got an exalted relic. Okay. Hey, that's good. And I mean, I wasn't macroing for that long, and I already got one exalted relic. Like, yeah, even if I don't get like a bunch of money off of this run, at least I'll have a bunch of exalted relics. Because I'd rather have a bunch of exalted relics so I can enchant my fishing rods than have none. You need mosaic and translucent. Did you already get crystallized and Atlantean? I mean, yeah, if a mutation surge starts in like 11 minutes, I'll let you join. But if it doesn't start in 11 minutes, then I'm gonna be heading to bed. Cause I'll end the stream at like 3 hours. You're gonna get Atlantean and crystallized after appraising. I mean that's fine. Which I don't know how often I would be getting that. But yeah, the reason why I'm gonna be ending the stream at 3 hours is because I haven't slept since yesterday. So I've stayed up all night. I woke up at 5 p.m. yesterday. So I've already been up for like 12, 14 hours. And it wasn't that long of a sleep. Because I streamed yesterday. And then went to bed like an hour after. You got translucent? Nice. That's good. I know the only way to get fossilized is if you get lucky. Or not fossilized, but... Well, yeah, fossilized in mosaic. Plus greedy if you don't have it. You have to get very, very lucky. Even in mutation surge. Because mutation surge only makes it 15%. It's not like it's a guaranteed mutation of whatever mutation you want. Kind of like how even though it's a 10% sparkling chance, it's not really a guaranteed, sparkling fish. Which is why sometimes I could be appraising a fish like dozens and dozens of times and not get the thing I want. Like I could literally be fishing for or like appraising, say, here, let me look. Like I could be appraising this resin, right? For shiny or sparkling, and it will not give it to me. Sometimes. Like that's happened. Like in shiny surge, the 3% doesn't actually feel like 3%. It feels like 0.3% for a shiny. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, where's my shiny, man? It shouldn't be this rare. And I've already inspected this fish at least like 70 times. And it's like, bro, I should already have it shiny by now. Like, that's basically guaranteed at that point. Albino. Damn, that sucks. What? What happened, man? Did you not get it? Wow, you got another greedy one? Damn, that's crazy. I mean, hey, you could save it in case one of your friends needs it. If you already have a greedy one. Yeah, you could also just use it for trading as well. I don't know how many people have greedy relic though. 18,000 EXP is actually quite a lot. That's a lot more than the goldfish, and that's both the mythicals. This is a really great spot for EXP as well. Damn. But yeah, there's just a bunch of issues with trading as well. Because trading has its issues, especially in the Discord. Like like whale sharks, great white sharks, and hammerheads. What their demand went up so much because of the trial thing for the Atlantis, but so did their like price. Like, why did their price go up of anything? It should just be the demand, not the price. Like, just because they're now using something doesn't mean that they should be worth a resin. Like, that's just kind of crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, hey, it looks like my macro is working just fine for me to be able to just allow it to be set up after stream, and so I can sleep, you know? Oh, what the hell is that? Why did it just flick my mouse and blink? What the hell? I think that's because it was in, like, first person rather than being a little zoomed out, which... Why? Hang on, let me check. Why is it... Let me zoom all the way out and let me see. Okay, yeah, so it does. Alright. So now it... Okay, yeah, it's fixed, I guess. I was just wondering why it would zoom in all the way rather than zooming out a little bit right afterwards. Oh. But hey, everything seems to be working fine for me at the moment on it. Hopefully, if I go to bed and then I wake up, it's not gonna be like, hey, fish updated, guys. Yeah, now you're all the way back up in like the middle of Atlantis in a public server, and it's like, fuck. And also, your macro hasn't been running for that long. That happens sometimes. I don't like it when it happens. It's so dumb. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be a mutation surge mulch, so yeah. A pretty sad, man. But don't worry, there might be a mutation surge yesterday if I'm playing fish tomorrow. Or not yesterday. What is my brain even saying right now? I mean tomorrow. If I play fish tomorrow on stream. Because I might end up playing fish tomorrow on stream. I don't know. Just kind of depends how much I'm like sleepy or not. But anyway, I'm gonna end stream here. It's 3 hours now, so I'm gonna head to bed, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure to join the Discord if you want to get notified for that. And yeah, bye bye.